I'm so glad to be here. The steak and the scissors.
Steak and scissors? Oh, you mean the wizard CZ and never wrong Nick Bull.
You have never hunted something like this. Don't hunt what you can't kill, fella.
So it's that kind of wrestling podcast.
I want to be the guy throwing snakes at people.
Then you found the right place. The podcast by the fan, for the fan. The card subject to change.
The surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, Mantar.
Here now, your hosts of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the Wizard CZ and never wrong Nick Bull.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan, for the fan. Of course, we are brought to you by Lopez Pizza. Glad to have them aboard with us. Welcome to another episode 239. More about that in a second, but let's get the obligatories out of the way. I am your host, never wrong Nick Bull. So happy. Oh, other way. You got to point the other way.
Oh, on my screen, it's right. So
yeah, I know, but it's opposite. There you go. I'm never wrong Nick Bull. So happy you're aboard. So happy you found our little corner of the wrestling world. Stick around with us for a few minutes. We'll chat wrestling and hopefully get some laughs out of it. I'd be remiss if I could not do this without my tag team partner. He is the one who makes this show run. He is the one, the only, and he is a certified wizard, and you can't teach that. He is the wizard, CZ. Wiz, how you doing, bud?
I am feeling fantastic. Been a great weekend. Had a little wrestling fun last night, but we're not going to talk about that. We're here to talk about more important things because we have one of our very good friends in the studio today. We're here to talk all things absolute pro wrestling, and I'm going to bring in our good friend and confidant, Mr. Jason Prentice. Jason, welcome back to the show.
Yes, good evening, guys. I'm glad to be back here. I got my cheat sheets ready to go so I don't forget anything because there's a lot happening within Absolute Pro Wrestling. We took a big winter break. This has been the best I have felt out of a winter break minus my weight. But everything else has been so nice to just kind of decompress and enjoy what's happening in the wrestling world.
I feel that, man. And winter in Iowa, you got to take that time because you never know what the weather's going to bring, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah. We had our first snow canceled event this past December, and it's a crushing feeling because you're just like, you want to deliver, and it wasn't like snow is horrible in the town, but it's taking care of the people out of town and making sure that they get home safe because they're gonna be fine getting there, but it's on the way home. And well, it's just really cold. We're inside. I get that, but it's got to be fair for everybody. And we had to make a tough decision to cancel our December show in Algona, but we're hopeful to not have that kind of a situation this year and beyond. Hopefully, and knock on wood. I say that as we have 2 December shows because why not, right? Let's tempt fate times 2 this year. But no, this winter's been crazy. Seeing a lot of cancellations with wrestling shows, and in the state of Iowa, you guys know how it is. It's
oh yeah.
You don't know what you're gonna get till you get it. I remember a couple of days ago. I remember it like it was just yesterday because it was. But they were like, about 3 to 6 inches coming to your hometown, and I'm like, okay. I'm looking at my radar. I see nothing, and we got nothing. I'm like, you just don't know until it happens. So
right.
Was that the first wrestling show that you've been a part of that you ever had to pull the plug on?
We had to pull a plug on another event. So this is the second one ever, but snow-wise, first one. But I had to do it from our business side. We had to cancel another show due to the threat of rain. We're outdoors. There's no backup plan. And it didn't rain.
Oh.
Which is the worst part because you're like, you see this big, giant, yellow and red cell heading towards the area. And you go, well, let's be smart. And then it just shrinks and goes away. And you're like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. And from a business side, it sucks because you want to make everybody involved happy with the decision. You want to make sure that your business partners that are involved, who are putting money into it, they come out of it happy too. And it was a shitty situation, but at the end of the day, you got to do. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Hey, we run
Right.
that day, and the cell doesn't shrink, doesn't disintegrate and then go away. Now we're in thunderstorms, wrestling in the rain, having to tear down a wet ass ring, and no one wants to be doing that. So
Yeah, that I've never personally dealt with a soaked ring before, but I've heard it is god awful.
I've never been a part of it. I wasn't on this particular event, but I think it was a Ragbri for Impact Pro Wrestling. There's either Ragbri or some kind of county fair show, and they had a downpour in downtown wherever they were, and the guys were wrestling in the ring, had to tear down the ring, soaked and whatnot. And TS Aggressor, shout out TS. Anytime I can get any chance I can get to pop that guy or talk about that guy, I will. TS Aggressor, who celebrates, by the way, I believe this week, celebrates his anniversary of being in the business. I believe, oh my God, it's more than 25 years, 27 maybe. It's gotta be more than 27 at this point. It feels like, but TS has a wrestling anniversary. Be sure to wish him a happy WrestleVersary this week. But TS talks about having to clean that canvas the following week, and I couldn't imagine. But thankfully, we've never been in that situation. Knock on wood. Our first fair show a couple years ago, we were worried about that. We were worried about that situation because we're outdoors. We're like, oh no, cloudy skies, and then it becomes sunny and 98 degrees, and we're like, you almost want the rain. You almost want the rain at this point. It's a little hot, a little toasty, but it was a good time.
Well, Jason, we got you here, and I know
Yeah.
we want to talk all things wrestling with you, but particularly what's coming up. You've got a whole plethora of shows lined up between Algona and Waterloo. And first show of the year, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. We've got the Badger Brawl coming up on March 14th.
Yeah. Badger Brawl on March 14th in Algona. We wanted to just, do something to honor Badger Calhoun. We've known Badger for a very long time. He's been a part of our team long before there was an APW. He was somebody who, when I was trying to figure out some things managing wise and whatnot, I had Mike Malice from Madhouse. He goes, hey, there's 2 kids you should take a look at. I think they could use your guidance a little bit, your mind, because I think you click with them. Okay. And it was Brandon Shank Eubanks and it was Badger Calhoun. And I'm okay. I go up, talk to these guys, and we just clicked. And though Shank is older than I am by a few months, they were like my kids, and now they're like my brothers. And I think they're both older than me, which is the funny part. In the wrestling business, I'm much older than them, but in reality, they are much, much older than me, significantly older than me, as Jim would say to Dwight in the office. They're significantly older than me. Shank's, especially Shank, who's only 6 to 8 months, older than me. But Badger, Badger had his health issues, and those health issues became more than that. It became heart issues, and it became, is this guy going to survive? Is this guy going to be able to beat this stuff? And, I would go to bed and just pray for the guy. And I just, you get me all sappy. God damn it, Chris. It's one of those things where it's like, this guy has done so much for himself in the last year. He got a brand new heart in 24, and he slowly but surely has recovered. And it's like, okay, like if I'm going to be somebody in life, I'm going to be that guy.
Yeah.
This guy who has been told, you're not going to live. You're not going to do this. Fuck that. Part of my language. But I'm going to. I'm going to do it. I'm going to defeat the odds. And he has beaten the odds many, many times. With the Winter Brawl Classic, the cup is named the Diana. It's named after my grandmother. It's selfish. But the guys who win it, they embody the spirit of what she has, whether you like them or not. It's this emboldened spirit. And with Badger, it's the same thing with the Badger Brawl. A guy who's going to go in there and win it is going to have a lot of the qualities that this man has. Good, bad, or whatever in between. If you boo him or cheer him, understand they're in that match for a reason.
Right.
And it's a great way to honor Badger, and I know he's looking forward to it. His family's going to be in attendance. He sent me that information last week, and he's looking forward to it. But there's so many other great things happening. We have Elijah Brooks in his singles debut, first match in APW history for Elijah Brooks. He was originally set to take on Jimmy Wild. However, we had to make what's the name of this show again?
That would be card subject to change.
Card subject to change?
Yes, sometimes the card is subject to change, so there's a little change.
There you go, stealing our gimmick again, Nick.
His day, Elijah's day just went from Jimmy Wild to now he's got to prepare for somebody who's more of a brawler, with somebody who's more of a bunkhouse brawler. He's got to go against a former heavyweight champion outside of APW, who's been a tag champion. He's won countless championships around the Midwest. He's got to go up against Justin Decent now in Algona. So your first match in APW is not against the high-flying, charismatic Jimmy Wild, somebody who you have a little bit of a height advantage over, a little bit of a weight advantage over. But now Elijah Brooks has to prepare for this man with so much experience, who has trained Jimmy Wild, who has trained the young guys that you see today. Justin Decent against Elijah Brooks in Brooks's first APW matchup. That is going to be big. Now, how do you go from there? What do you do? Well, you got to go with another big-time match, a first time in APW history. Not the first time in Algona, but it's the first time in Algona in over, I believe, 7 years. Well over 7 years. James Jeffries against the Death Dealer. Two of the top fan favorites in Algona and in APW period. Having these two go against each other is history for APW. For me, I've been on the outside when the Death Dealer, they referred to him as Ray Fearing. I watched Ray Fearing against James Jeffries countless times in Algona. Tag match, singles match, didn't matter. Where they are both at now is not where they were in 2013, 2014, 2015 to today. They're not the same guy. They are vastly different people. James has aged like a fine wine. James is still doing big things. He's got that big match. Silas Mason, the NWA World's Champion in Waterloo, Iowa, July 11th.
Yep.
Shout out to them. Hell of a get. Good on Troy and those guys. They're going to kill the Hall of Fame show. Just like we're going to kill it July 11th in Algona with the show that I'm going to announce tonight, because I haven't broke that news to anybody publicly. So there you go.
Uh-oh.
But I got to give you scoopies. I got to give you some scoops.
Well,
Clint Dye can't get everything, guys.
Full disclosure, CZ goes, I got a feeling Prentice is going to get on here tonight and give us a little something. I go, it's probably a good idea.
I think I'll give you. I think I'll give you. I'll definitely give you some. But James has got a big match of July 11th. Is that in the back of his mind? Absolutely. It's only March 14th by the time this match happens. He's got months to prepare, but every match that comes about, James is going to be thinking about it. Is he prepared? Is he focused? Is he great? Can he get through the match? Now he has to get through the match with a guy like the Death Dealer. That guy's making gains on top of gains on top of games. CZ, I'm pretty sure you guys talked. You guys talked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the guy.
Oh yeah. And he's I'll give a little shout out to him. He's going to be on Wrestling with Fitness on Wednesday. So
see, look at that. We tie everything in.
Synergy, baby. Synergy.
Put it up, dunk it out, baby. But yeah, I mean, the Death Dealer's in the best shape of his life and of his career. Phenomenal shape. And also momentum. Right? They're both surging with momentum. Dealer winning. Could be a contender to the Openweight Championship with the Badger Brawl later that night. Winner gets the openweight championship opportunity down the road. This is the big match for both guys, but especially because it's right before the Badger Brawl in the main event. So it's like you got to get through this match, but then you also got to get through the main event.
Right.
You know, and that's some of the things. Like, there are guys who are wrestling on this card. They're at a disadvantage. They're at a disadvantage because they got 2 matches. There's some guys who don't. Some guys say, hey, sign my ass up for that Rumble, but please keep me out of a match. Please,
Right.
Thank you. Smart. Now, I'll give you a little scoop right now. There is one other match we can announce, and we'll announce more of the Algona show here this week. You'll see it. It'll be up on our page, Absolute Pro Wrestling. You find us everywhere on social. But women's wrestling coming back to Algona. Miss Frankie J will make her APW return in Algona against Briar Hale.
Ooh.
That is a big announcement right here. Those two have gone off against each other before. You know it's going to be a good matchup. Briar Hale has been impressive. She wrestled Sage in Waterloo. People were impressed with that match. I mean,
Fantastic match. I was there.
I mean, the twins are 2 of the top female talents in the Midwest. Sage and Briar Hale, 2 of the best in the Midwest, bar none. I don't know how many people are at that level. I think they should be on television. I think that they have the tangibles to get there. I think that people like Frankie J get slept on a little bit because they go, well, okay, she debuted in 2012. She's had a knee injury. She had a baby. And they want to go through the list. And I go, yeah. And she's still kicking people's asses. And she's still doing all these big things. And I have seen other people in the Midwest, especially in the Midwest, who have done the same thing. And they appeared on Ring of Honor and they did all these things. And they've gone through some of these trial and errors, some of these great moments in life. And they're still kicking ass too. And I'm just like, put some respect on Frankie J. This is not going to be an easy match for Briar Hale. It's not going to be an easy match for Miss Frankie J. But what it will be is one competitive matchup in women's wrestling in Algona on March 14th.
That's fantastic. I have not had the pleasure of seeing the Hale twins in action as much as I would like. I've seen them twice. Saw them at Central Empire, and I saw them in Waterloo.
And Sage has been out for a while too. I think it's part of the problem. Like, part of why you haven't seen both of them, or even either one, is Sage has been dealing with that knee injury, or not the knee injury, but back injury. Dealing with the back injury for a while, and as soon as she got cleared, I mean, credit to her. Credit to her. She busted her ass to try to get back and get into a ring and try and do things that some people, I mean, she had doctors telling her she'd never wrestle again.
Right.
She had people telling her she's never going to wrestle again. And at a young age, I believe she's not even to mid-20s yet. She's not even in her mid-20s. And she's being told, hey, you're done. All that traveling you've been doing, all the miles you put in, the AEW appearance and all these things that you've done, all the work, yeah, it's done. It meant nothing. That's a lot of shit to take in for a 20-year-old. And the fact that she still is wrestling, the fact that she is busting her ass to be able to be a viable talent and a bookable talent and to be on shows, credit to her. But I don't mean to interrupt you, but I had to get that nugget out there because it is something people don't talk about with her.
And that's amazing that she can come back. You hear those stories all the time where someone's told, no, you can't come back. Me being a big proponent of DDPY, that's part of Dallas Page's story. And then to just come back and kick ass so much better than you did before. That's awesome.
Yeah. Both the twins, like I said, the twins, there's many great Midwest talents in the women's division. Amina's great. Sadie Bell is great. Again, the twins, you can go with all sorts of people. I got to praise Magnum. Magnum had an all women's show, Magnum Wrestling, over in the Dakotas. They had an all women's wrestling show. I don't know if I would ever take the chance of doing it. I've seen my uncle do it, and my uncle had Thunder Rosa, Camille, Crawley. Alice Crawley, I believe, right? They had all these women booked on the show, and those shows could be hit or miss. But Magnum did a great job. Kudos to them. You know, I'm sure there are people that are gonna be in my inbox. Did you really put over Magnum? Yes, I did. You can do that. It's crazy. Promoters can put over other promoters. It's crazy. But
we're all in this together, right?
some days depends on who you are.
Well,
But you know, it definitely depends on who you are. But no, it's definitely one of those where there are so many talented, wonderful women that are in the Midwest. I think the Midwest has I'm going to say, I think we have the superior hub for women's wrestling. I don't know. It's just me being biased, probably. And that's fine. But when you have people like Sierra, who's in the Midwest, I think Sierra is the best women's wrestler in the Midwest that we currently have active that should be on television. She's had appearances, and I say that respectfully. I think she would fit on a TNA roster. I think she would fit on a Ring of Honor or an AEW. But she's a phenomenal talent as well, who we've worked with her before. We'd love to work with her again. And I think, like I said, I think the Midwest has such a great hub for female talents.
and it's only getting stronger because you see more and more women coming in and getting trained.
Yeah.
Like I'll shout out Tori Fox from Black and
Yeah.
Brave, who's on our show recently.
Yep.
She is coming into her own. I love that the women are getting more momentum, especially here in the Midwest. You know?
Yeah. I've heard a lot about Fox. I've heard a lot of people kind of suggest her to us for shows. I'm sure it's something that will be discussed at some point. You know, Madhouse is training more women's wrestlers, which is great. Shout out to those guys. If you're looking for somewhere to train, that's the place to train, I think, right now in the Midwest, as far as people within our proximity. You know, that if it's not us, you know, with the absolute apex, I would say Madhouse Wrestling. And that's shout out to Clay and to Mike and Luke and all their work they're doing. But yeah, again, the women's roster throughout the Midwest is scattered with talent, top to bottom.
Very much so. You mentioned Clay Cooper right just there.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to transition into the Winter Brawl Classic because he's
Oh,
going to be there going for the Open Heavyweight Championship or the Open Weight Championship.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's going to go for both. He's going for all the above, man. He could walk out two-title Cooper over there. You know, Clay's got a lot of pressure on him. This is his APW debut. He was originally supposed to debut in 2020. It was 2023 he was supposed to debut, and he ended up getting hurt about a week before the show, and then he stopped wrestling for a while. And then this deal came together, and he kind of ran his mouth a little bit about the Winter Brawl Classic, how with Cole Cannon being out, maybe I'll put the title on and I'll be there. I called him up. I said, "Man, you gotta put your money where your mouth is." And he's like, "Do it, put me in there." I said, "Okay." I said, "I tell you what, though, let's get a money match out of this. You want to do this? Let's make you earn it. You're gonna be one of the guys who fights 2 matches in one night." He goes, "Easy. I'll win 2 titles in one night." I said, "Well, all right." So you put Alvin Falcone, the openweight champion. He's trying to go for the longest reigning openweight championship record. That's what he's going for right now. And he won it last year against the Big Picture. He's had great title defenses, and he's got to take on Clay Cooper. And then here we are over time. We didn't know if we'd have Ethan Everhart involved on this show. And I hit up Ethan one day. I'm like, "Hey, man, we're planning things out for the Brawl. I know you're a hot commodity. You're one half of the APW Tag Champions." I said, "Are we able to sign the deal?" And he goes, "Yeah, let's get it done." He goes, "I'm surprised you didn't ask me about 15 weeks earlier." I'm like, "I know, I'm just making sure." And I'm like, "Okay, well, where do you drop him? Where do you drop E?" And I'm like, "You drop him in what could be the match of the freaking century. You drop him against Ethan, Everhart, against Alvin Falcone, against Clay Cooper. You drop him in that match, make it a triple threat, and I think it could be one of the biggest matches in APW history." And I put it up there with matches, it could be a match like a Maddie versus, Jackson King. It could be a Shank versus AVB, type situation with those three. They just all offer different things. Clay Cooper being a champion with Madhouse Wrestling. Ethan Everhart is a current tag champ with the APW. And Alvin Falcone is a champion right now as the openweight champion. He's had success outside of APW, winning belts everywhere. And it's like, okay, this is a match that is a guaranteed banger. I hate using that word banger. I feel like a 12-year-old. It's so gross. This crap. I feel I feel like a millennial, and a millennial makes me want to puke when I say that. But this match has all the potential in the world, and I can't wait to see it. That's just one of several at the Winter Brawl Classic.
And I was looking at the card. I was gonna go on record and say that triple threat was probably, other than the Classic itself, what I was looking forward to the most. But I can't legitimately say that because of the matches that are on this card. This whole show is going to be fantastic.
When you have the response from people saying, "Holy crap, this is like an all-time card," and I'm like, "Thanks, whatever." This is good. Wait for the rest of the year, You're like, man, expectations are high, shnikes, but it feels good, and I think we're going to deliver. I think the things that are in store, I'm not going to give too much away, but I think the people that are in the Classic, those announced and unannounced, I think that that's going to make people happy. I think that Jay Wesley against Lars Metzger in Fans Bring the Weapons, first time in Waterloo, I think that's going to make people happy. I think Brandon the Shank Eubanks having a match at the Winter Brawl Classic, no idea who he's facing. It's an open challenge. There's a mystery there. Who's it going to be? He's in action. He's pissed. He lost the title to Cole Cannon. Now he's got to go into the Classic and win it. Yes, he is a competitor. You saw the graphic. He's in it. Ricky Bronson's in it. Justin Deason's in it. Elijah Brooks. You can go down the whole thing, but Shank's got to go through all these people to get his title back. So now he's got to do 2 matches in one night. Motivate, man. That's all we could do right now with that guy. But Shank's going to be in action. And then you have the Death Dealer against the guy who you guys are familiar with, and most people are starting to get familiar with even more in APW. That's Dominic Zagreus. That matchup, oh my God. I had people messaging me. You booked Dom against Death? Yeah. And then I had fans who were like, they'd make a great tag team. Probably. they probably would make a great tag team with the styles that they offer, but it's going to be a hell of a one-on-one match. And then, you get to this match, the match I'm about to talk about, and Elijah Brooks has to find a partner to take on the Harbingers of Hate, Damon Dillinger, and Victor Payne. So here's another mystery. You have 3 things to wonder. Who is it going to be? Who is Shank going to wrestle? Who is Elijah going to choose? And who's in the Winter Brawl Classic? All these tangibles make it exciting for what the Classic could be. And I don't know who Elijah Brooks has chosen, which is not great. It's not great because, and I see the Austin Bayless, man. Shout out to Bayless. But you got all this mystery, and he's such a young kid, and I'm letting him choose. Typically, the booking committee says, "Here's what we're doing," but the kid says, "No. They put a challenge out. I'll find a partner. You guys ain't gonna work." I suggested people. I said, "Hey, Elijah, what about Shank? Why not Shank? Go toe to toe with go take the Shank, former champion, former tag champion." And he's like, no, I'll find somebody. That's a good option, but I'll keep that in mind. And I'm like, what? So you got to have somebody who is, in your opinion, a better option than that. And I'm like, all right, well, like James, no. I got a guy. I'm like, okay.
I've heard
no idea who it is.
I have it on good authority that Never Wrong Nick Bull put his name in the hat to be his partner too.
Yeah. Nick Bull also put his name in the Winter Brawl Classic. And Top Shelf Tom Chilstrom said, "Not this year, brother. Not this year." I don't know what that's about. Hey, listen, haters are going to hate. Bulls are going to bull. I'm just saying. You never know. But yeah, this card of matches, we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. 6 matches total with the Winter Brawl Classic. There will be surprises. There will be returns. There will be moments made, history made. A new APW champion crowned in the Winter Brawl Classic. First time we've done that. So you win the Diana Cup. You're guaranteed a main event no matter what at Super Slam 4, which is so crazy to say that. But you're guaranteed all these things and you win the championship. Like this is the biggest Winter Brawl of the history of the Winter Brawl, I think.
Now, before we move off of the Winter Brawl, I'm going to put you on the spot. We haven't really talked about this, but we love coming up to Waterloo. We love supporting you guys.
Yeah.
We can do another pre-show party.
I mean, always. I think any and every chance we can get to do a pre-show party, we gotta. And I think what I will do is I will offer. Not only will you guys get to do it, I will have one of the mystery competitors in the Winter Brawl Classic announce their entry on your show.
Ooh.
That is what I will do.
There we go.
I will send out one of those people. You won't know about it. Nobody watching is going to know about it until the pre-show podcast party. You're going to see an exclusive person in the Winter Brawl Classic that nobody's heard that they're going to enter. I guarantee you that. You have my word on it.
Well, now I'm excited. Now I'm even more excited, I should say.
It's a great partnership here. It's a win-win.
Always.
We get to come up and see a wrestling show, hype up your show, and then we get a surprise on our show. I mean, it's a win-win. So we appreciate it, and we're looking forward to it. I'm sure it's still winter in the Midwest. March 28th, though, I'd like to think the roads will be fine.
So I'm going to tell this story. Let me tell you a great Winter Brawl Classic story from APW history. So we did this partnership with the Cedar Valley Sportsplex. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to Craig. He has since moved on from this Sportsplex. They got a great team with Bob and company still. We're very proud to be in the heart of downtown, working with the city, looking to build a relationship with the new mayor. It's not about politics for us. It's about having a great relationship with the city. That's our whole thing, right? And we're like, okay, when we're planning out, because we're going to do more events, we had a great show in 2000. I think it was we went there in 2023. Went there in 23, late 23. And we're like, okay, you guys want to keep doing it? Yep, all right, great. Let's start, planning the shows. And we said, all right, we're going to do one in March of 2024. We need a title for the name. And it was Shank who's like, man, if we could just do something like this Winter Brawl, right? Or the Winter Classic. I'm like, why not the Winter Brawl Classic? He's like, that's fucking awesome. And he's super happy about it. And it was our Rumble and all this stuff. And I said, all right, the Winter Brawl Classic on the first week of spring. And Bryce Jordan, shout out Bryce, healing up, not in time for the Winter Brawl. I'm going to spoil that right now. I wish he was there. But Bryce Jordan, about a couple weeks, we do our poster hanging, and he goes, man, Winter Brawl Classic on the first week of spring when there's no snow. And he's giving me so much shit about it. And I'm like, oh my God. And he repeatedly, there are texts and Messenger and all this stuff where he is giving me, oh man, I can't wait to see the Free World in action at the Spring Brawl Classic. It's going to be awesome. Because it's spring, not winter. And he keeps beating this damn horse. And then, the day before the inaugural Winter Brawl Classic, Waterloo gets a snowstorm. Snowstorm Friday night, sunny and 60 the next day. So no issues for fans to go, but there's snow on the ground. And I said, hey, Bryce, how about that dang Winter Brawl Classic? And the rest, as they say, is history. But shout out Bryce Jordan. I love that guy. I can't wait to have him back in the ring. His recovery is going well. He anticipated being back sooner. He really fought his ass off. And if you need any confirmation about how big of a stud that guy is, as soon as he got the brace off, this was probably back in November. They were like, hey, probably, you're close. November, early December. He got the brace off, and they're like, you can start doing these things. And he hit the gym. He just kept grinding, and went to the doctor about a couple weeks ago, and they're like, you're not cleared. You're close, but we don't feel comfortable allowing you to bump and such at this time. And then people are like, oh, it's still got a month. It's a month, and then there's other checks and balances you got to go through. So it's like he wanted to be cleared. We both agreed, our team and with him, it's like, hey, if you're cleared by February, we'll get you in the Winter Brawl. We'll get you there. And he bust his ass though. What a stud, and what a competitor, what a hardworking guy. Bryce, he'll be back, and it's just reminding him, and anybody with an injury, and I think this is the best advice. Your health means more than our show, than our little world, right? And your health means more than a career. Our little shit show is second, third, fourth, whatever. Your health and your mental and all these other things, that means more than your career in a wrestling ring or just wrestling, whatever. So that's something I think it's a good reminder for people like him, people who just go through injuries or are having hard times. It's okay to just take your time and slow down and enjoy this while you can, because there's going to come a day where we can't. So,
right.
take a moment.
I'm glad you made that point, Jason, because I think so many times as wrestling fans, as we all are here, you hear an injury and then you've got this assumed number attached to it on when she said competitor should be back from their injury. You just no idea what setbacks they have along the way. And I think that's something that happens. We as fans, like, sometimes hear a number or get a number in our head and it's like, wait, where are they? Type of deal. But so much goes on during rehab.
I think the best example right now is Bianca Belair. Everyone's like, oh, she's been out since Mania. Where the hell is she? And they're like, that's only a finger injury. And it's like, okay, but obviously it's serious enough where she's had to go. It's the videos she's putting out now to be like, hey guys, here's how bad it is. Where I can't. There's just things she can't do, and it's like, that's just her hand. That's her finger. Like, okay,
right.
And to fans you got fans who really love these people, and that's great. And I think there's some people who take that love too far, where it's like, it's just a finger. It's just a finger. Like, wrap that shit up. You're fine. They don't care. And that's sad. And that sucks, because the competitor obviously wants to be out there, right? Nobody has an injury and they're just like, well, I want to be out for 7 months. I don't want to be able to pick up my son or my daughter for 7 months. I've had parents that got hurt, and I couldn't hold my daughter for, the first 4 months of her life.
Sure.
And that's sad. I feel for him, and I can't imagine that feeling, especially, hey, no matter if it's your first kid, your second kid, whatever the case is, like, it sucks no matter what moment you're in, because that's something you'll never get back. Right. I just think there are, unfortunately, there's fans who, they take that shit way too far. And it's just, it's a dark side of what we go through, but it's like I said, I think it's a good reminder for talents. It's okay to take your time. There will be another show. There won't be another you.
Right.
And obviously Bryce is a good friend of the show, so we wish him we hope he's back sooner than later, but that's very understandable. Better to play it safe. get yourself 100% than to come back too early and risk getting hurt again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the boat where Cole Cannon is right now. You know, Cole Cannon, I hate that guy. I just can't stand him. Personal stuff aside, you know, he called one of my, people on the team. He calls one guy to say, "Hey, will he talk to me?" Yes, I'll talk to him. What's up? Hey, I messed up my knee, and if you watch back him against Shank, he does this dumble stomp on Shank, and he lands awkwardly, and then he goes on the top rope, and he's celebrating and stuff like that. And he goes, "Yeah, I got on the rope, and I knew something was wrong." And I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, I talked to a doctor, and he goes, "It's a whole tear in your knee." It's like, you're out for a year. You got to have surgery. Yeah, we got to cut you open. We got to do all these things. And originally I thought it was just like a slight meniscus tear, and they're like, "No, it's a full tear. It's what's called a bucket calf tear, and there's also a tear on his ACL." So he's got all these things that they had to open his knee up and whatever. And he goes, "Yeah, I went from having maybe a 3-month to 4-month you're out to I won't be back till probably next year." And I'm like, "All right, well," I said, "I just want to let you know, we may not agree with each other, but hopefully you heal up and properly, especially with the knee stuff. The knee injuries are not something you mess with. It's an extensive repair, and it's also an extensive, rebuild of yourself, from top to bottom, not just one part of your body, but your whole body's got to get used to it. So mentally, physically, everything. So it sucks that Cole's out, but it does create an opportunity for 20 plus men to find themselves in a spot to win a championship for the first time, maybe, or for some people, maybe for the second time.
Without a doubt. Now, Jason, speaking of this, I have to ask you this because it's come up in conversation with me and some other people. Cedar Rapids, 45 minutes away from Waterloo.
Yeah.
And AEW has decided that they're going to be in Cedar Rapids on the same day as the Winter Brawl.
They did.
Now, we've talked a great deal. I know which show I want to go to, but I knew that.
You know what show you're going to be at.
Well, yes, exactly. I know which show I'm going to no matter what.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait.
Hype this up a little more. What, other than the matches, what are people getting by coming to APW instead of AEW?
So one, I think that a house that's being built to fit 150 plus rowdy fans is going to look better than a house half lit by less than 700 people with national TV stars on their show. Respectfully, I will say that some people in the world of APW reached out to the creative and the marketing team with All Elite Wrestling, and the best they could offer as far as, hey, what's an idea where we can both win? Their best offer was, we'll give you a pair of tickets to sell at your show for our show. To AEW, good luck, have fun, be safe. But also, GFY. And if you're asking what you're getting out of an APW show that you would not get with a national television product with people that have been on WWE, ECW, TNA, what are you going to get from a little old indie fed like us? Everything and then some. Fans bring the weapons. Never been done in Waterloo. Not like this. The Winter Brawl Classic, a Royal Rumble style matchup. How many people are doing that in Waterloo at our level? A lot of people. if any? How many people in Waterloo, how many promotions were named by the Cedar Valley as the best entertainment live and locally? Not AEW. What are you getting with us? You're getting bang for your buck. You're not getting tickets where you got to pay out the ass and you got to say, little Johnny and I had to save up. We didn't do Christmas this year because we wanted to go to AEW. You're paying half of that, if then, even more than less than half that, to go to a local indie show. Yes, there will be more APW shows you can go to. This is can't miss. This is can't miss. And you say, why go to our show when they're 45 minutes away? Hell, they're not the only ones running that night.
Right.
There are people who are postering up in towns that we are closer to than they are, and they're running that night too. Good on them. Good luck to them. What I say, though, is you should go to ours. One, because we're business done right. We're family friendly. We have everybody you could think of, and then some demographically wise. That's
And the
be on that
podcast pre-show party.
podcast pre-show party. How many people are doing that? Though here's Nick saying this shit. I'm sure that XYZ company is going to say, we're going to have a pre-show party of podcasts. That's what they're going to do now. And it's going to be card Bludgeck to Bange or some bullshit like that. I don't know. It's going to be something like that. And, you know, then maybe they'll get rated by the state. But it doesn't matter, guys, gentlemen, guys. All I'm saying is, why do you go to APW on Saturday, March the 28th? Why do you buy a ticket to our show? Because it's going to be the best show here, there, or anywhere on March 28th in the heart of the Midwest. Best of luck to the other guys running.
I got another reason. I'm going to find a way to weaponize CZ, and he's going to be the weapon that I bring to the fans.
Now, Timothy Regal is just having a conniption now. He's having he's losing his soul because you're going to weaponize him, and now CZ is going to be more internet famous than Regal ever was, and it's going to be a whole shit show. And now it's going to be Regal against CZ, and they're going to have to settle their feud at Super Slam 4, and it's just going to be a whole thing. People at SCW are going to talk about it. Shout out to them. We can talk about other promotions, right? You know, it's like, oh my God, CZ. This Nick, you need to get control of Nick. Nick is the guy who does. See this? Stirring the pot. Why do you stir the pot, Nick? Why do you stir the pot? So the sauce don't burn.
That's right.
Hey, I will just say that me versus Regal is a main event in any promotion. I'm just throwing
5 stars. 5 stars in the Tokyo Dome.
Oh.
And then I shut off. And then I shut off the PlayStation. But yeah, I agree. 5 stars.
When that happens, let's hope that I'm in better shape when that actually happens. Which, oh my! But no, I love that answer, and I agree. You know, with our podcast, our heart and soul is supporting independent wrestling. You know that, our fans know that.
Yeah.
And we don't take away from the big guys. We still will talk about AEW. We'll still talk about WWE. But who do we bring on to our show? Yeah, we bring on the heart and soul, the future of the business, who are grinding every weekend here in the Midwest. And not just the Midwest. We've had people on from all over the place. And that's what I love about our show. That's what I love about going to your show, because you're seeing the future of the business and some great talent. And like you said, it's a family-friendly show. Always, independent wrestling has always felt like a family to me.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's a lot of opportunities for people to check out wrestling on March 28th, whether you're going to AEW or, I can say their name, Live Pro Wrestling. Whoa. I know, just broke the internet.
See you, Fourth
their
Wall.
Show, great. Yeah, see you, Fourth Wall. How you doing, Andy? Literally, you go to their show, great. You go to our show, great. I hope you go to one of our shows versus AEW. Support the indie, because they don't give a shit about us. They don't care about the little old indies. They don't care. They want to be WCW 2.0. Good for them. They want to hold talents. They want to freeze contracts. They want to do that stuff, and then cry about talent. You know, they want to play the victim card when WWE runs against them, and then when they run on shows and a promoter locally says, "Hey, how can we get this to work for everybody?" Now it's, yeah, tough tit. Great answer. That's a great answer. All right, great. You know, goes to show you what they're about, and that's fine. And people will say, it's just Prentice being salty. All the flavors in the world will be salty. That's fine. I don't care. You can say what you want about me. I know who I am at the
What's
end of
going to be a pain in the butt, though, is that traffic on the way back that night, CZ.
Oh, well, I'm glad you'll be driving.
That's right. That's right. And we can just shout out insults at the people that weren't enlightened enough to go to a show with more heart, more effort put into it than just your standard.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
For
It's
a Saturday night.
They're not sending people out locally to poster to town or to work with local businesses to provide entertainment, to promote their brands, even the local brands. They're not going to the mayor. They're not going to all these people to say, hey, how do we promote us, but also how do we help you? They're not doing ticket giveaways. They're not doing this. You know, they're just, and that's fine. How they do business is how they do business. And I'm sure my answer tonight to that question will upset some folks. I don't care. It's an honest answer. It's how I feel, and I'm always going to be honest. If you want to support Absolute Pro Wrestling, Live Pro Wrestling, Magnum Wrestling, XYZ, whoever's running on March 28th, do it. Support local independent wrestling, 1,000,000,000%. Do it.
Yeah. Hashtag support indie wrestling. That's one of my favorites to throw out there. Always. Well, Jason, I know we're getting close to an hour mark. This has flown by, and we've focused on the 2 shows in March, but I want to give you the opportunity to talk about what else is coming up through the year.
You want the scoop.
Yeah.
You want that damn scoop. Well, here's what I will tell you. Coming up throughout the year, of course, Super Slam 4 right around the corner. I don't want to announce anything wild, but I think with Super Slam 4, you can expect one of the biggest cards that Waterloo has seen. And hey, this Winter Brawl is like that too. Well, expect that for the whole year. Expect debuts, returns, surprises, twists and turns. Like, there's so much that's going to happen at the Winter Brawl Classic, I feel. That when, at the end of the night, when we say, hey, at the end of the night, when we say this is the main event for Super Slam 4, when we're able to announce all these things, we hope you go and pre-order your tickets. When we're able to say, hey, here's what Super Slam 4 looks like, more people order the tickets. I had somebody who commented and said, I want to know about Algona. I just seen that on my Facebook pop up. Algona with the Badger Brawl. Same thing. This sets up Ruthless Aggression 3 in Algona, where, we're going to have all these big matches and whatnot. But the big thing I can announce is that, yes, we will be back with several events in Algona. But the one that I'm really proud of is July 11th. In Algona, downtown Algona, we're back for Founders Day. That deal got done 2 weeks ago. We have a great relationship with the city of Algona. They were really happy. It broke our attendance in Algona. It's a free show. It should, right? It should be great. But the city says to me, this is the most attended event that they have had on a Saturday night in over 15 years.
Wow.
With our wrestling show. That's huge. And folks, when you have something huge, you have to make it bigger each year. I think if you're at the Founders Day show this year on July 11th, I think you're going to see a very big show. Trust me when I say that. And yes, we will also be back for the Kasuth County Fair. Another deal that got done last week. We're working on possibly a former television name coming in. If we don't, you're still going to get the same provided action you're used to. Those are some scoops. I can tell you, you're not going to be disappointed in the Winter Brawl Classic. I can tell you the Badger Brawl, you're not going to be disappointed with that. I can tell you this year overall, with what Absolute Pro Wrestling presents, you're going to be a satisfied ticket-buying fan or pre-show podcast party host. Whoever you are, whatever you do with our company, you're going to have fun. We're going to have a lot of moments made. And at the end of the day, that's what we're about, making memories with kids, with families, with adults, whoever it may be. We're about making moments, and that's what we're about to do on March 14th and on March 28th.
I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm keep hearing in my head with the action that's set up, you are the embodiment of Sheamus and Cesaro. We don't set the bar. We are the bar.
We are the bar. And
we got the disappointment-free guarantee.
Yes.
Exactly. I think that's a huge thing, especially with these first two events of the year. I don't see anybody in Algona or Waterloo going away disappointed. Maybe you're not going to like, an outcome of a match. That's fine. We all hate it. I hated that Cole Cannon won the APW championship. It ruined my Thanksgiving and Christmas. Him getting injured, it made it not as bad, but still sucks, respectfully. But I hated it. I didn't want to see that go down. It is what it is. But I think this year there's going to be a lot of things we do that I don't think people are going to see coming, and that's the fun part of it, is surprise and all that stuff. But yeah, making moments this year, that's our goal, and I hope everybody joins us again March 14th in Algona, VFW. Who? That's where we're going to be there. Get your pre-order tickets now, and then we'll be back at the Cedar Valley Sportsplex March 28th for the Winter Brawl Classic.
One last thing I'll ask from you, Jason. Yeah. I know we have I've put them in the description where people can find you online.
Yeah. So social media, I hate Twitter. I do not tweet a whole lot. When I do is when I am talking about things that matter to me. When it comes to APW, I am horrible. So if you look up Absolute Pro Wrestling on Twitter, you'll likely find us just by that search bar. If you look up me, it's Jason, not Luke Raven Prentice on Twitter. Shout out Luke Raven, because I'm not Luke Raven. And as far as our Facebook, Absolute Pro Wrestling there, Jason Prentice on there as well. Instagram, I barely use an Insta. I don't get it. It's photos or videos. I have them in my phone. Google it. I have nothing else to say as far as socials are concerned. I can make maybe Absolute OnlyFans. I have no idea. I don't know what I post on it besides pictures of Shank's bald head getting bashed in with a trash can, probably, because that guy has been hit in the head so many times with so many random objects and just indents and stuff that could be worth the price of an APW OnlyFans with Shank's head.
I love it.
That vision's going to be hard to get out of my head.
pull a John Cena when he got OnlyFans. I'm sure it'll sell.
We'll support it if and when it happens. 100%.
Perfect. Nick already DM'd me. He goes, "Hey, on the side, what's that cost?"
That's right. That's right.
What's
always a move or two ahead. Always a move or two ahead.
You got the picks? You got the picks or what? You got the picks? My God, acting like he's Mandy Rose or something.
Oh, fantastic.
Whew.
Well, Jason, this has been a fantastic evening spent with you. I appreciate you coming on.
Always.
We appreciate you anytime we can have you on. Yeah. Just to hype us a little bit, I mentioned earlier, we've got the Death Dealer coming on Wrestling with Fitness with me and Zach Takis on Wednesday, so tune in for that. I'm excited. Made some progress in my journey, so I'm excited to share that. I'm excited to hear about the Death Dealers. And next week, Nick, I think you and I are talking Elimination Chamber.
Are we? Is that next week?
That's next Saturday, doggy.
Can't
Oh
believe
man,
that's
that
next
came up
Saturday
quick.
already.
It's upon us. I mean, it's the last show before Mania. Hopefully the card shakes out a little bit after this, and we can start, looking towards what matches are going to be on what nights for Mania. But yep, Elimination Chamber next Saturday. It's early evening, is it not?
I think 6 without looking.
Yeah.
Early evening, yeah. So yeah, we'll be breaking that down on next week's episode.
Can't wait. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before I close things out?
Be kind, rewind, and if you're going through stuff, reach out. People always care about that stuff. Seeing the Randall Moore news yesterday is very heartbreaking. And if you are going through things,
I'll put that back out. You were looking at it.
it's definitely, no, you're good. I was just, yeah, hell yeah, let's go. But yeah, the Moore news yesterday with with his unfortunate passing.
Right.
It's just good. It's just a good reminder for folks, if you're going through stuff, reach out. You're not alone. You're never alone. And I don't know where to go from there, but it is definitely one of those. Reach out.
Yes.
Agreed.
Completely agree. Well, that is going to put a bow on this edition of Card Subject to Change for our guest, Mr. Jason Prentice. For my co-host, Never Wrong, Nick Bull, I am the Wizard CZ. You guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you right back here for another episode of Card Subject to Change.